and welcome back to the EGF High School series. Sunshine and giggling once more. We are ready to go for map number 3. Taking it very seriously, I do promise we are very serious about this game because it is match point for West Mifflin. After all, heading into the push game, have had a very strong showing back on Blizzard World, completely shut out Lake Wales on their attack. But push, there isn't really an attack or defend kind of phase K-Wing. We're back to more of this neutral ground that was reminiscent of control, and we're hoping after this break that Lake Wales, they've had some time to break down what just happened in their previous map and apply that as we move forwards.
My apologies for not being as serious as I should have been at the start of that. We were being counted in by our lovely producer, Time to Light, and they went 3, 2, 1. Your mom, go.
Yep, yep,
Don't
yep.
type your mom on stream.
Sometimes it's fun. I mean, after all, this is it's yes, it is a competition. It is something for these players in their high school scene to showcase their skills, compete against other high schoolers at their level, and kind of show who's the best. But at the same time, it's also there for them to have fun, enjoy everything that
Mhm.
is the esports industry, and of course, Overwatch is a place to have fun. We all have fun in Overwatch, right, Kaylin? Especially on push mode.
I think you're right, Time. I think it is cope. Anyway, going forward though, on Esperanza, it's interesting. You tend to see a lot of Orisa compositions, at least you did a while back, and Time, hey, Time Delayed, that's not my name.
Oh my goodness. You know, sometimes we like jokes. We like jokes. Our producer likes jokes. But hey, map 3 isn't something to joke about when it's match point. I mean, K-Wing clearly does not want to be involved in any of this. We have to take this seriously, guys. Take it seriously. And now we got
Fine.
K-Wing back. We want to see your lovely face once again, but actually no, we get to see the streets of Esperanza instead.
I'm interested just about these compositions. I'm interested to see if the Highlanders are gonna pull out something crazy, something insane. They're going to stick onto this Reinhardt composition, and I'm not sure if that's the play, if they're going to, if I'm being fully honest. We've seen Overwatch Gun take full advantage of the grouped up nature of
Mm-hmm.
this composition, just using that seismic slam right behind them, picking up 10, 15, 20% ult charge and jumping right out. And that is what has enabled them to
Yep.
drain the resources of the Highlanders.
And I don't see that stopping. The Highlanders, they want to play close together. They want to have a nice group hug. Overwatch Gun's job is to quite literally rip them apart from each other and give Mark the Pot and Piece of Trash the room to work. Actually do that damage of the follow-up. But you have to be careful to play too close, because I'm sorry, Brigitte, you're not Reinhardt, even if you want to be. Ipso can easily smack you down, pinning straight into the back, and this is the best we've seen come out of this composition that Lake Wales has decided to run.
That it is, and you really, I like them taking advantage of exactly what makes the Reinhardt composition and playing in, pushing in aggressively and overwhelming the members of the Titans.
Control, keeping up that pressure, but we'll see another fight quite quickly here before this first choke is to be had. No significant progress on either side. The robot will move back to that center position as West Mifflin are preparing to set themselves up in a good spot. The dog had to back off pretty far. It's giving up a lot of space from Wake Wales to try to regroup, and they have to. Look how much damage Ipso's taking. They're eventually going to fall. Kiriko Lucio doesn't have that burst healing, and it's going to be a snowball from this point forwards. K-Wing give Mifflin a tiny bit of room to work. They're going to take everything they can get off of it.
That is completely correct. They're going to take exactly what they need. They're going to take the lead, and the Titans here just showing us the heads up play that has allowed them to really succeed there, as now the Highlanders pushing in through a pretty tight choke, which is it's an interesting choice. Definitely not what you'd expect. And there's the headshot from Overwatch Gun.
Yeah, and the meteor strike on top of it. I mean, eventually you're going to run out of cooldowns, and health, but look at the supports. The supports are following Overwatch gun all the way through, and they're gonna get this first point off of it. Lake Wales, they got held so hard at that choke, K-Wing, and now they're gonna have to fight with a significant disadvantage.
With that forward spawn, it's going to be so difficult now, especially when you're coming up on these big DPS ults for the Titans. You need a quick fight if you're the Highlanders. You have the ult advantage, but you won't have it for long. You got all 5 ultimates. You better press Q.
Hey, you want Doug? Quick's the name of the game because he got the pulse bomb and another one from the Tracer player, but it's not over just yet. Mark with the Deadeye in a small room will get the trade out for Ipso, which could be good in the long run, especially with these forward spawns.
Especially with those forward spawns, but they're not going to be there for long as the Highlanders are going to be pushing the cart. And what's West Mifflin doing? I'm interested to see what exactly, what was he cooking, as my roommate just laughed at that one. Now you're coming into a pretty even fight. You want to watch this beat from Mr. Eerie, as that's going to be the big defensive ultimate here. It wants to counter a lot of these ultimates on the side of the Highlanders.
It is, but you have to pick carefully which one it's going to be. I mean, taking out Ipso means you might be able to hold on to it for a bit longer, but the attack visor gets shut down in the middle of the Kitsune Rush, exactly what you needed. Sound barrier late in this fight, really just a victory song. At the point it was unleashed, looking to clean up these last couple of players. The Doug wants to escape, but it's just going to be another stagger out on the Tracer, and this robot is going to keep pushing forwards.
Forward spawn activated for the Titans, as they've still got these ults. This is what you're talking about when you're looking at rotating the ults, and the shatter comes in.
And keep that rotation up, getting Mr. Eerie out, but another support ends up bowling the main one, and that means there's no chance of survival for Ipso. They will be taken down, and West Mifflin, they're going to get a bit more progress with the robot, or at least some standstill. Losing the Overwatch gun is going to hurt them as this fight continues if Lake Wales decide to re-engage quickly.
Late stagger onto Luna from Mark the Pot, and it's going to allow the DPS from the Titans to get on this high ground and just rain down death onto the Highlanders.
Yeah, as you can see, Mark, they weren't ready for that positioning, ends up getting caught out and follows it up with another one on top of it. The ability to chain these fights together and push is so incredible. The amount of progress you gain is great, but there's a couple adaptations coming through from Lake Wales, including a Roadhog, which clearly just got shredded into pork chops. We won't be seeing Pig too much longer as West Mifflin. They're rounding this last corner, K-Wing. We might even see a full completion here.
We might, as it looks like the Highlanders are all out of steam. They are trying to pull out the Roadhog at this point, and honestly, the Roadhog's not the solution, but Overwatch gun is posing a pretty big problem. Maybe that Pulse Bomb will help out, but this Deadeye's gonna be big.
The Pulse Bomb will help, but you're gonna need more than that to follow through. And especially with Doug not being there, this payload, we're in a last fight scenario if West Mifflin can pull it off, and they might just about do it. They got the visor, the support ultimates, everything going to be thrown out. There's still so much time on the clock. West Winston are going to close this one out. Lake Wales are getting wiped off of this objective, and eventually they're just going to swap to these stall picks. They're going to get the Wrecking Ball out onto the point. It clearly doesn't have the health pool to push this one through. Nano Boost on to the Doomfist, just keeping the players off. And Lake Wales, they're using everything in their arsenal. You have the Kitsune Rush, but nobody to actually be able to use that one. As Lake Wales eventually, aren't they? I mean, honestly, I'm pretty impressed they're keeping up this stall for the amount of time that they're going, but there's no clear win condition here. West Mifflin, all they got to do is just sit back, shoot some runs, might as well get in the practice range with this, get the Deadeye out for a final double kill, and it will be a 3-0 victory here in week 3 of the EGF High School Series.
This is exactly what the Titans wanted here. They wanted to show that that 3-2 loss was a fluke in the best way, that they can close out a series, because what we didn't tell you about that game last week is that they were up 2-0 and then it turned into a 3-2 loss. They got reversed sweep.
Yeah.
They got reverse swept. And this is showing us that they can absolutely sweep through teams and take the fights, take the matches that they should be winning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that if we see a rematch between West Mifflin and that team that they dropped to last time, I don't know if it's going to end up the same way because we've seen West Mifflin's a scary team and they can drop even some of the most known teams in EGF, like Lake Wales.
West Mifflin, they've clearly shown signs of improvement from that past week, and it's still so early in the season. It's only week 3, K-Wing. There's still so much room to grow from this point forwards if you're taking so much off of a team that has a very close seeding to you that has had similar success. This is a great showing for West Mifflin to have. The season will progress. Their opponents will